Are you tired of carrying around the weight of repressed anger? It's a common issue that many women face, but it doesn't have to control your life. In this video, we'll explore the root causes of repressed anger in women and provide practical tools and techniques to help you to overcome it and experience greater freedom and peace. So get ready to let go of the anger that's been holding you back and step into a life of serenity and joy. To begin, let's briefly look at what anger is. It's a feeling someone gets when they feel their boundaries or ideals have been crossed, when they see a threat, or when they experience what they feel is an injustice. Let's understand from the beginning that anger is a natural, emotional reaction. It's not necessarily or inherently a bad thing. It's simply a real thing. Anger is real enough to manifest into a physiological reaction, such as an accelerated heart rate, raised blood pressure, and tension in the muscles. In addition to that, anger can take on many emotional reactions, such as feelings of irritation, frustration, or even the extreme, manifesting as violent wrath. Anger can spur people to action, assist them in establishing boundaries, or empower them to defend themselves. So you see, anger is not inherently a bad thing. But if anger is not adequately controlled, it can have harmful effects. Not surprising, uncontrolled anger is displayed differently in men than in women. Anger can escalate into violence in men, oftentimes becoming physical, such as punching, hitting, throwing things, or slamming doors. Anger in men is further displayed verbally, by them swearing, yelling, or using derogatory language. Then there are those men who shut down when they're angry, avoiding or distancing themselves from the situation, or the person they feel prompted their anger. Lastly, there are those men who deal with their unresolved anger issues by abusing drugs or alcohol. Now, how is anger commonly displayed by women? In a variety of ways. 1. A woman can act in a passive-aggressive manner in expressing her anger, either by making snarky comments or fuming silently. There are those women who have emotional outbursts, or display other expressions such as crying, screaming, flailing their arms, stomping their foot, and taking an intimidating stance. An angry woman will slam cabinet doors, throw a pot, break a dish, or I've heard where a really angry woman slashed a tire and broke a cheating boyfriend's window. This is how a woman can physically display her anger outwardly. But what's going on inside her when she's not throwing a fit? The anger is still there. It's just hemmed up inside her, festering away. And that's why it's called repressed anger. Repressed anger is anger that's been suppressed, or even denied. It festers like an infected sore, and can have a negative impact on one's mental and emotional well-being. A woman with repressed anger is likely replaying the incident that caused it in her head, again and again on a continuous and angry loop. She's thinking and brooding on her anger, not able to let it go. Can't you see? Replaying it is reliving it. Creating a pressure cooker, with no outlet, no way to let go of some of the steam. Additionally harmful is the fact that we women so often blame ourselves for the situation that triggered our anger and set us off. This further fuels our feelings of guilt and our being ashamed of our emotions. You might be asking yourself why that is. Because in many cultures we women are conditioned to suppress our anger, so expressing it, to a great degree, can enhance all the negative feelings a woman with repressed anger is already experiencing. As we previously said, not all women express their feelings in the same manner. One's cultural and societal conventions can control, or have a large impact on how she's expected to behave in situations where her emotions come into play. Also note that for the sake of our discussion, we're being very specific, and talking about anger being handled in an unhealthy and potentially self-destructive manner. We're talking about repressed anger. Speaking of societal norms, let's take a look at how society and its norms dictate how women are expected to express anger. Most gender conventions see women as being nurturers, submissive and non-confrontational, which can, in many cases, hinder women from expressing their anger the way they want, in a straightforward, yet assertive manner. And we don't mean assertive, like in an aggressive, forceful or disrespectful manner. That's negative. We're speaking about assertive in a positive manner. As something bold, confident, direct, self-assured, and determined. Now isn't that something? How the same word can have two different definitions, one positive and one negative. Society using the word with their chosen definition, and you taking the very same word, and choosing the definition that you feel fits you. A positive definition. This is the place we want you to get to. So in what way can society stigmatize a woman for how she chooses to express her anger? By labeling the expression as being unladylike, unfeminine, or inappropriate, because she may be shouting or her body posture has her viewed as being confrontational. Depending on her culture or ethnic background, what is deemed as inappropriate behavior can result in her facing social stigma, criticism, shunning, or even public punishment. Can't you see how easily this can become an issue for a woman? In many cases, how dangerous it can be for her to express her anger. To her, it translates into, it's dangerous for her to express her feelings, because a woman who feels she can't express her anger, or that she's upset, will ultimately come to feel she can't express anything that isn't directly, or outwardly perceived as positive, by someone else's definition. A woman living under these conditions could decide to avoid expressing her emotions at all, because she fears the consequences, right? Or because she's learned to associate expressing her emotions, her being upset or angry, with a negative outcome. Can't you see how societal stereotypes, or cultural norms, or even the ethnic group a woman is born into, can discourage her from expressing her anger at all, as her feelings of anger can be viewed as weakness, inappropriate for her culture, or her being labeled as being out of control. So often we internalize our anger, and it festers inside us, because it doesn't have a healthy outlet. As a result, we women experience sadness, anxiety, worry, stress, resentment, irritability, insomnia and frustration, as well as other negative emotions. Then there's the physical aspect of internalized repressed anger, things like chronic pain, high blood pressure, and heart disease. These are just a few of the health issues that repressed anger can produce. Next, there's the impact unresolved or repressed anger can have on our relationships. For one, our inability to express anger, even constructively, can result in ongoing passive-aggressive behavior in our households, while repressed anger towards one's partner can easily result in unresolved issues, dissatisfaction in the relationship, and ultimately, feelings of resentment. Then, women who suppress their anger may believe that they are not being true to themselves or that they are unable to defend themselves. This can eventually result in diminished feelings of self-worth and self-esteem. All because of repressed anger. Then there's this. Repressed anger can reduce your ability to achieve your goals and fulfill your dreams, because it can undermine your confidence, hinder your boldness and drive, and stifle your motivation. So what can you do? First things first. Recognize and acknowledge your anger. This is the first step in overcoming your repressed feelings, recognizing and admitting that the anger exists. This entails you being honest with yourself, acknowledging your anger and identifying the circumstances or triggers that caused the emotion you're feeling. Practicing mindfulness can help with this. Being mindful is you becoming more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and your body's reactions in the present moment. This can aid in preventing the build-up and accumulation of anger, and make it easier for you to recognize when anger is brewing. Which brings us here, and that's, the best approach for a woman dealing with repressed anger, is to find a healthy outlet. For me it's journaling, for you it could be journaling as well, or exercise, getting involved in a physical sport, meditation, or talking to a trusted friend, family member or attending a support group. Equally as valuable is developing conflict resolution skills. This is all about learning to effectively communicate your needs and boundaries in a constructive and peaceful way. Conflict resolution includes active listening, positive compromise, assertiveness balanced by empathy, and determining to be responsible for, as well as accountable for, one's behavior. You can learn conflict resolution a number of ways. Google it and read the articles that are generated, find a good book on the subject, or take an online class. Then ultimately there's this, get professional help. Seeking support from a therapist or mental health professional can be beneficial in helping you to explore the underlying causes of your anger, and then developing healthy coping strategies, while at the same time learning to express your emotions in healthy, positive, and productive ways. Now, what does a woman who has let go of her repressed anger look like? She can look like night and day. To herself, she can find that she has increased self-awareness, empowerment, and emotional control. She can feel more at ease on the inside, and display more self-assurance on the outside, especially when it comes to setting healthy boundaries and positively expressing her needs. Family members, friends, and co-workers may notice that you're more approachable, talkative, and invested in your relationships. They might notice how comfortable you are with expressing your ideas and emotions, and with how sincere and genuine you are at being a productive part of a team. Then lastly, with regard to your spouse or significant other, you might find that you're more attentive, positively active, and emotionally present in the relationship, because you're feeling more at ease expressing your desires, needs, and weaknesses, which can result in a deeper level of intimacy, understanding, and trust. Here are steers. Overcoming repressed anger requires a commitment and a willingness on your part to be honest with yourself, practice mindfulness, to be intentional about expressing your emotions in a healthy manner, to ask for help from family or close friends, to learn and adopt effective conflict resolution techniques, and to seek professional help if needed. We are confident and honestly believe this one thing: you can positively overcome repressed anger and develop healthier emotional habits and routines, resulting in a greater sense of satisfaction, well-being, and inner peace. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more empowering content like this. Until next time.